Picture yourself cruising down the highway, enjoying a beautiful weekend road trip, when suddenly a thin wisp of acrid grey smoke starts drifting out from under your car's hood. Or maybe you are standing in your kitchen, frying up some dinner, and a sudden grease flare-up leaps out of the pan. Panic instantly sets in. You do not have a massive, heavy, industrial-sized red fire extinguisher bolted to your wall, but you do remember tossing one of those sleek, aerosol-sized mini fire extinguishers into your glove box or kitchen drawer just a few months ago. You grab it, but as you pull off the cap, a terrifying thought crosses your mind. Is this tiny lightweight can actually going to stop a roaring fire, or is it just a glorified can of hairspray? We buy these compact safety cans because they promise absolute peace of mind without taking up half our trunk space, but because they look exactly like a can of bug spray or shaving cream, it is incredibly easy to doubt their power. Today, we are going to look right through the aluminum walls of that little can, break down exactly how a mini fire extinguisher works step by step, and discover the brilliant, highly concentrated chemistry that allows something so small to save your car, your kitchen, and your life. To understand how this tiny canister defeats a roaring flame, you first have to understand what a fire actually is. Fire is not a physical object, it is a rapid chemical reaction. For this violent reaction to exist, it strictly requires three distinct things to be present at the exact same time: extreme heat, a fuel source, and oxygen from the air. In the safety world, this is known as the fire triangle. If you remove even just one of those three legs, the triangle completely collapses and the fire instantly dies. Every single fire extinguisher on the planet, from the massive foam trucks at the airport to the tiny can in your glove box, is specifically engineered to attack and destroy one or more legs of that triangle. But a standard red steel fire extinguisher relies on thick, heavy metal walls to hold massive amounts of extreme mechanical pressure. A mini fire extinguisher takes a completely different, much smarter approach. It relies on the clever physics of aerosol packaging combined with hyper-concentrated, multi-purpose chemical agents. If you were to slice a mini fire extinguisher perfectly in half, you would find a very simple but effective setup. Inside the lightweight aluminum cylinder is a long plastic tube called a dip tube that runs from the top nozzle all the way down to the absolute bottom of the can. The space inside the can is filled with two very specific things. The bottom portion is filled with the actual firefighting chemical agent. In most high-quality modern mini extinguishers, this agent is a highly specialized liquid foam or a fine dry chemical powder. The remaining empty space at the top of the can is pumped completely full of a pressurized propellant gas, usually pure nitrogen. Nitrogen is incredibly stable and does not react with the firefighting chemicals, making it the perfect invisible spring to store potential energy. When the can is just sitting in your drawer, that high-pressure nitrogen gas is constantly pushing down incredibly hard on the surface of the liquid or powder, desperately trying to find a way to escape. But the only way out is blocked by a tightly sealed mechanical valve sitting right under your thumb. When disaster strikes and you press down hard on the top plastic nozzle, you physically push that internal valve open. Instantly, the pressurized nitrogen gas violently expands. Because the gas is pushing down on the liquid, and the only escape route is up the dip tube, the firefighting agent is forcefully sucked from the bottom of the can, shoots straight up the tube and blasts out of the front nozzle at an incredibly high speed. This is the exact same basic mechanism that dispenses your morning shaving cream, but with significantly more force. Now, let us look at what happens when that specialized chemical actually hits the flames. If your mini extinguisher uses a modern liquid foam, which is highly recommended for kitchens and cars, a brilliant chemical transformation happens the exact second it hits the open air. The concentrated liquid rapidly expands into a thick, heavy, soapy blanket of foam. When you spray this foam directly at the base of the fire, it performs a devastating double attack on the fire triangle. First, the thick foam spreads out and creates a solid, airtight seal completely covering the burning fuel. By blanketing the fuel, it instantly cuts off the oxygen supply. Without oxygen, the chemical reaction of the fire physically cannot continue. Second, because the foam contains a high percentage of specialized water and cooling agents, it rapidly absorbs the intense heat of the flames. The water flashes into steam, pulling the extreme temperatures down below the flash point of the fuel. By simultaneously suffocating the oxygen and stealing the heat, the mini extinguisher completely crushes the fire triangle in a matter of seconds. However, there is a massive, extremely important safety warning you must understand about these tiny devices, and it comes down to pure volume. Because the can is so incredibly small, it only holds a very limited amount of chemical agent and pressurized gas. A standard mini fire extinguisher will completely empty its entire contents in just 10 to 15 seconds of continuous spraying. That is it. You have less than 20 seconds to fight the blaze. This means that a mini fire extinguisher is strictly designed for what safety experts call an incipient stage fire. That is a fancy term for a fire that has just started and is still very small, like a burning trash can, a small grease flare-up in a frying pan, or a tiny electrical smolder in your car's dashboard. If you walk into your kitchen and the entire wall or ceiling is already engulfed in roaring flames, a mini fire extinguisher will absolutely not save you. In that scenario, your only job is to immediately evacuate the house and call the professional fire department. Additionally, you must always check the label on your mini extinguisher to see what class of fire it is designed to fight. Not all chemicals are created equal. You never want to spray a simple water-based aerosol onto a grease fire, because water and boiling oil will explode, making the fire vastly worse. Fortunately, most modern mini extinguishers are specifically formulated with an ABC or ABF rating, meaning they use a specialized foam or powder that is perfectly safe and highly effective against ordinary burning trash, flammable liquids like gasoline, and even dangerous electrical fires. So, the next time you look at that little aerosol can sitting quietly in your glove compartment, you will know exactly how much incredible, hyper-concentrated chemistry and pressurized physics are waiting inside to protect you. It is a tiny, brilliantly engineered safety net that uses the simple science of suffocation and cooling to stop a small disaster from turning into a life-changing tragedy. If this breakdown helped you understand your everyday safety tools a little bit better, please take 5 seconds today to go check the expiration dates on your own extinguishers, then hit that subscribe button. Give this video a quick thumbs up and leave a comment below telling me if you actually keep one of these in your car. Thanks for watching and stay safe out there.